Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Do you want to just fucking get into it? I feel like I can lead us off. I feel ready.
Do you think?
If you're ready.
I'm ready, bro. Yeah,
right.
I'm ready.
Go to the bathroom now because I'm not stopping 15 minutes into the ride. That's more of a note from Mike. All right, welcome into Mrs. the Boy. Wow, super exciting. I've been gone forever. Had to get married and go on my honeymoon, but the guys held it down. I was listening to the shows while I was gone. I'm DK Sizzle. I'm here with Bob Kelly on a pretty important night for Celtics basketball. Unless you've been living under a mossy rock for the last few weeks to months, the Celtics are in a grand resurgence, skyrocketing up to the very, very top of the Eastern Conference. There was never really a chance of touching the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Suns have won like 67 games. So we take our wins when they come. We're currently, as the time of the recording, we're currently in the midst of a game against the Miami Heat, who are technically the current 1 seed. If we can beat them tonight, we should pip them to the 1 spot again, which, how do you feel about that, Bobby? Like, I mean, I don't know if we've really concretely talked about the Celtics since we were sort of lamenting their growing pains, as it turns out they now were, and, you know, kind of pretty worried about our all-star tandem still. And I feel like, I think we've all collectively been proven wrong. I think this Ime Udoka defensive scheme has clicked. I think he's gotten the best out of Rob Williams, which we'll go on to talk about shortly, and obviously the implications his injuries has. But I think this team basketball he's got him playing, the fact that he's got them all bought in, which was obviously our biggest issue of the end of the Brad Stevens era. What do you think? What's changed the most for you, and like what are your top reasons for why you think this is now working?
Well, it's the defense is the number one reason, man. It's unbelievable how much of a leap that defense has taken.
Number 1 defense in the NBA,
and it's not even close. You know what I mean? It's the number 1 defense by far in the NBA.
Yeah.
It went from a underperforming, gutless, effortless defense on some nights to a lockdown, tenacious, just like there's nothing you can do about it defense. And that's the biggest difference to me. It's crazy, man. Like. So I was going back, I was listening to a couple of our old shows, and each time we talk about it, they just kept climbing in the standings. It's crazy. Like last time me and Mike were talking about it, we were like, it's possible they could get up to the 3 seed, possibly 2 seed. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, this run just keeps going.
Yeah.
And now we're playing for the 1 seed against Miami, man. And it's just, it's still mind-boggling to me that we're actually playing for the 1 seed with 10 games to go. In the Eastern Conference, from where we were at the beginning of the season, it's just night and day. It's unbelievable.
What do you make of this team's attitude shift? I feel like the thing that we were banging our heads against the metaphorical and sometimes literal wall when we would all talk in the Discord is this team just doesn't have a winning mentality down the stretch. They let teams come get them. They let themselves get in their own heads, et cetera, et cetera. What's the reason for all these blowing all these big leads? Now they don't even look like they're going to give a team a chance to decide to think about getting back into a game. And they look mentally, I feel like mentally, they just look a lot more, locked in. Sure. Like at the effort, like you were mentioning on the defensive side is definitely there, but also more grown up. Is that a fair assessment of how you've been watching them? They're just not letting it happen anymore. They've decided collectively that they're better than that, and they're just not letting that kind of stuff happen. And they're not really giving teams a chance. Do you think that attitude shift has come with the good play? Like, where do you think that's come from? And like, have you noticed the same thing?
It's night and day, man. And I don't know what changed it, honestly. I feel like there was a moment, I think it was Jaylen Brown tweeted something like, there's about to be an attitude shift. There's about to be.
Yeah, and you're like, I'll believe it when I fucking see it. Yeah.
Bro, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know what what it was, honestly, because you're right. It really does look like more grown-up basketball. Like, you used to see, maybe it's just a shorter rotation or just the fact that we don't have fucking like Tremont Waters and like, you know what I mean? These bums out there in the last 5 minutes of the game. But you used to see in that last 5 minutes, like, it was like a different team, man. You know what I mean? Like, you get to this Jason Tatum, Jalen ISO ball moments, and you just like, you see basketball that makes you want to pound your head against the wall, like you said. Like, that was the perfect
It was
analogy.
turgid at the start of the season. Like, the offense, like, teams could do whatever they want to us, but also offensively, we just could not get it going. And that leads me to, I think, what's going to be the biggest topic and should be the biggest topic of our Celtics chat, which is Robert Williams.
Ugh.
You know, he gets injured, torn meniscus, looking promising though. Like a 4 to 6 week timeline. I mean, I know, I hear you already, and I know coming off of surgery before, and hoping. Yeah, I know, I get it. And also, I mean, you know, you think back even as far as you can go all the way back to 2010, KG, Kendrick Perkins for that game 7, Jaylen Brown last year, you know, Gordon Hayward. I mean, when it comes to needing guys to step up and be 100% healthy for the playoffs, the Celtics' luck has been abysmal. And I honestly, with probably the exception of Jason Tatum right now, Robert Williams was the last guy I wanted to see get hurt, because I think for obvious reasons, anybody who's been watching the Celtics over the past few weeks knows that this floating free safety position that Robert Williams, which, I mean, you know, it seems like a no-brainer, right? It just seems like the kind of coaching that it sort of comes from fundamental basketball in a way, because it's like, well, how do we get the best out of this guy? And like, what are the things that this guy brings to the table? He has now, and I don't think he always did, but he has now a high defensive basketball IQ and crazy athleticism. And I think just letting him like bounce around back there, it's very entertaining to watch on the defensive side of the ball, which on just pure entertainment, it was kind of all I was asking for from this Celtics team. Just like, be watchable, please, just be watchable. And that's been like a thing that's been actually quite watchable about this team since before this big streak, was watching Robert Williams play. That athleticism is now missing from the defensive side of the ball. And, you know, I mean, they're holding their own right now against Miami, but of all teams to miss Robert Williams against, and the way this Miami team is currently constituted, I would say, you know, this is a game where you'd really love to have him. What kind of adjustments do you think we're going to have to make? And hey, do we stand a chance in the playoffs if he doesn't come back? You know, does the dream die as quickly as it materialized as we shot up the standings?
It's in that game we absolutely dominated too. And it was like, I didn't even know what happened until all of a sudden I got the update after. It's like Robert Williams is being analyzed, I guess, for an MCL strain. I was like, oh, God damn it. Of all people, man, for an injury to linger, the one person that worries me is Rob Williams. We've seen it so many goddamn times. I don't know, maybe it's different now because he's older. He's got Al Horford now. I think Al's been really great for him in the block. You know what I mean? I really think that's been a huge addition to his game. And I think it's like, it allows him to do luxury things in that position that, you know, he wouldn't normally be afforded. And also, Al, I think, is bringing a lot more to the table on the defensive side of the ball than I thought he was going to bring. And I think that you or the rest of Celtics Nation thought he was going to bring. I thought he was going to be much more of a role player than he actually kind of came in. Vital. Like, he's vital now, you know, again. And I feel like the coaching staff is really getting the best out of their players. And I think what they did was they looked at the roster and said, what do these guys do best? And how can they best complement each other? And I think the freedom that it gives Rob Williams back there with Al Horford is absolutely a huge thing. And I think Al had a big thing to do with, like you said, that defensive IQ. Because in the past, I think Rob relied a lot on his athleticism, period. You know what I mean? Like, he would have games where he would get caught out of position a lot.
Yeah. People went around back on him on him quite a lot.
All game, right. Yeah. And you just don't see that anymore. I don't know if maybe it's the system, the way it's set up now. But I think
his slides are better. Like, they're better timed.
Yeah, and Al has a lot to do with that, I think.
Yeah, well, because we don't have to because what was the big worry with Rob is he's not going to be able to guard Joel Embiid. You know, he's not going to be able to guard Giannis. Like, he doesn't have to guard the bigs now. You get to put him as like a huge length athletic defender on what is likely a lot of teams' best scorer at the 3. You know what I mean? In that kind of high post to block area, and he just gets to move through that area so and he can cross the floor so quickly. You know what I mean? With that athleticism. And now that he knows when to do it, it's just like, oh my God, this is like, it's such a huge part of our defensive identity. And I think that's the thing that's worrying. If he makes it back in 4 weeks, we're good. We're golden.
Agreed. And so a big reason why he's so key too is it gives all the other defensive players freedom to be aggressive, to put the pressure down, to really, you know what I mean? They don't have to play conservative in any way whatsoever because they know Rob Williams is there holding their back. And if someone gets a step on him,
free safety,
bro, Rob's there, bro. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, that gives us the freedom to put Tatum on dudes like Giannis, to put Tatum on Embiid. You know what I mean? He can, because Tatum's athletic enough that he can stay with these dudes on the outside.
Sure.
But as soon as they get down into the block, man, that's when Rob's there. And he's like, you know, he's just that defender on the basket. So that's where we're really going to miss him. The biggest piece, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is Grant Williams, man. If Grant Williams can step up and he can give you 60 to 70% of what Rob was giving you, I think that you can live without Rob for that first round of the playoffs.
I don't
Anything
love that,
past
though.
that,
I don't love that.
I don't either.
I'd rather make Tatum play the way that Rob was playing because he's got the athleticism. Yeah, and then you just leave Grant as a perimeter defender, which works.
Yeah.
You know, it works fine. And then he just doesn't, he's just not athletic enough. I think it's going to be so noticeable if we want to try to play the same game. If we put a guy like Grant Williams in there, because I just think he's going to get fucking creamed. Like, I'd probably rather Daniel Tice, to be honest with you, playing that role. Cause it's like, he'll play it a little bit more traditionally, but like I agree that I've come around on Grant Williams too. Like, I don't hate him as much as I did, like circa, 1 year ago today. I think he's improved almost every aspect of his game. I think the best thing he's done is he's improved his shooting, because I hated every single fucking time he took a shot, and he's a little bit better at that now. So, we're good there.
He's actually he's like top 15 in the league now, isn't he? In three-point shooting? I think so.
Is he really?
I'm pretty sure.
Shooting the three. Yeah, he's always been decent at shooting the three. I feel like his decision-making has gotten better overall, like when he shoots. But again, as a defender, I'm not top 15 in the league, really.
I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty crazy. That's what percentage? Like
3-point.
So he's making much better decisions. He's shooting 42% from 3-pointer. That's pretty fucking lights out, dude.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty fucking lights out. Jesus, I didn't know it was that good. Well, he's making much better decisions. I think he's improved exponentially. I think he's also improved on the defensive side of the ball. I don't see him filling that role, to be honest with you. I think you need a guy that's still athletic to be able to go in there, or a guy who knows how to more in the post.
It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, no, it's tough to replicate. You know what I mean? Unless we had Bam Adebayo coming off the bench, that's literally he'd be fucking great. Yeah. He'd be perfect. You know what I mean? But we don't. So it's gonna be a bummer for that first round. But man, we could come back.
Let's put it this way: if we play Brooklyn without Rob Williams in the first round, I don't think we have. It's going to be a tough series. I'm not going to say we don't have a shot.
We got to get the 1 seed. We got to get the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Right? Just get the 1 seed and we'll be good. Who do we play? Who are likely to be 8? Hold on.
Yeah, so that's the problem, is Brooklyn might end up in that play-in tournament.
Oh, yeah, they are right there, aren't they?
Yeah. So that's
that come second. Yeah, just come second.
You might want to be second.
Because I don't think they're going to catch the Cavs. Wow. Brooklyn are really I thought it's all really close though.
It's all right.
It goes from 48 to 40 in the top 8, per wins. So really anything can happen. I think you just try to win all your games, and you try to come as high as you can, and then be confident that you can beat whatever team you play. I think that's you just got to make it simple. Don't worry about the kind of individual, oh, they won here, they won there. It'll be what it'll be. The play-in tournament still has to happen. That's over on the 15th, right?
Yeah.
And then we start on the 16th. The playoffs start on the 16th. That rest will be nice. A little bit of rest, and see if Rob Williams can make a good comeback. He says the surgery went well though. So 4 weeks? Could you see it?
I could. Yeah, I mean I could. It just scares me, man. That
April 30th. Rob Williams comes back.
Williams needs those lower he needs that lower body strength, man. That's what makes him Rob Williams. You know what I mean? He jumps out of a goddamn gym.
You think if he comes back, he might not look the same for a while?
It scares me, man. That kind of injury for a big man, and It's Rob Williams. Like I hate to be this guy, but
I'm
like
surprised you're not optimistic. I thought I was going to come to you for some optimism in this situation. There is a whole camp. There's a whole camp saying Rob Williams makes it back and we like make a run. So
listen, it's hard for me to be optimistic about a Rob Williams injury.
I know.
This has been the thing
I know
that we've talked about him every single year. Like if he stays healthy, he's amazing. If he stays healthy, he's awesome.
Yeah,
but it's so hard for this dude to stay healthy, and
the timing is
timing, bro. That's what killed me. Is like I went from we're the 1 seed, let's go. Like I was actually texting one of my buddies who I haven't even heard from in a while. He like texted me randomly, all pumped about the Celtics. Like I heard from a year and a half. He's like, bro, how about those Celtics? And like literally 12 hours later, Rob Williams was out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Never talk to that guy again. Don't ever talk to that guy again as long as you live.
So I don't know. I honestly want to end up. I think the 3 seed might be the best for the Celtics at this point.
Yeah.
I know being the 1 seed or the 2 seed would be awesome, and the implications it
good
could
for
have
morale. It's good for morale.
Yeah, for the team and things like that. But if we end up as the 3 seed, I think we're likely to get the Raptors to Cleveland, and those are the 2 teams you'll want to see in that
100%,
first round.
100%.
You know what I mean? Those are the 2 you want.
You could figure out rotations against either of those.
Absolutely.
Teams. You know what I mean? Like you have a little bit of a luxury. Like if you shorten your rotation to 7 guys to start, you like make a definite choice, 7 to 8 guys to start, and then you just smash them for the first 2 home games. Like you get up 40 points on them, which I could 100% see happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, let's run some scrimmages. You know what I mean? Like let's see how like Daniel does here. Let's see how like, you know, like let's like fuck with the guard play a little bit. Like who wants to be the perimeter over here? You can start doing stuff like that when you're up by a lot on a team. There's no way Brooklyn don't give us a good game at least in every single
one, right?
Every single round. And also like, you know, Kyrie and KD. I mean, like, I know if Mike was here, he'd be like, blah, 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 blah. Like Kyrie and KD, like mental midgets, et cetera, et cetera. But like I'm not sure how much they've given a shit really about the regular season anyway. And I feel like they're probably like, I don't know, we'll just like play the play-in tournament and we'll definitely win. And we'll just like see where we're at in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You can't count them out.
They play the Raptors or the Cavs. It's an absolute failure and a disappointment, even without Rob Williams, if they lose that series.
Oh yeah, no, they have to win that. They have to.
If they play the Sixers, if they play the Nets, if they play it's the Bulls they should beat too. So really, if they end up against the Sixers or the Nets in that first round, it's going to be a battle, man.
I'd be scared of either of those teams with Rob Williams. If we had the Sixers, the Sixers or the Nets, I'd be nervous in a 7-game series at our best. We've been playing great. You know, don't get me wrong, but like those are 2, like, you know, pretty experienced playoff teams if you think about it. You know what I mean? And like it's you know, they're no slouches. And matchup wise, I just think is like our biggest problem. I think it's very difficult for us to match up against the 76ers because like I think when Joel Embiid's healthy and fit and like not playing lazy and like, you know, like not out of shape and not injured, I don't think anybody can really match up with him.
Playoff Joel Embiid is a scary, scary man.
I'm not really sure anybody in the league can match up with him, to be honest with you.
He's a scary dude. Maybe Jokic, just it.
Jokic could, yeah, but I guess I don't really think about that because like he's kind of a non-factor.
Yeah.
In like the postseason and like in the East. So yeah, he probably could. I think Joel might have a tough time with him, but like there's nobody in the East that can fucking do anything with him. So we have to defend him by committee. But like I would like our chances if we had because I think we kind of do fuck the Sixers up, and I think we're a little bit in his head, like historically speaking. And I think with Rob Williams, you can like play that fucking pogo stick game in the front court, and you can like just have him be there, just like swatting at stuff, and it's at least annoying. You know what I mean? And then I take the rest of our guys 1-on-1, to be honest with you, against the rest of the Sixers. So with, I guess, the exception of Harden, but like, you know how that works. I mean, like, I just don't know if he's like,
you don't know what Harden you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. So that's trick or treat. So like, yeah, fuck it. You got to take, I'll put Jaylen Brown on him and we'll just see what happens. Like, why not? I don't, but yeah, I feel like there's reasons to be optimistic, but I'm definitely a little bit bummed. about the whole Rob Williams situation for sure.
I'm sorry to disappoint you and like not be the shining light.
No, it's fine.
That I usually am with the Celtics, bro. But
it's fine. I mean, there's lots of reasons to be happy about how they're playing right now.
Yeah, but it's just there's one thing that you can't get me to be optimistic about is the Rob Williams injury.
Yeah, you've been hurt too many times.
After all these years, man, it's just we've seen these shining moments of Rob Williams where you're like, oh my God, let's go. This dude is amazing.
Yeah.
And then it's followed by this.
It's probably karma because Marcus Smart is out there fucking taking Steph Curry out of contention.
Bro.
Fucking just like absolutely laying dudes
hip
out.
check.
Like, it's just hip checking dudes, diving on the floor, fucking taking guys' legs out. It's like, it's just always going to come back to haunt us because we have like that dude on our team. We have that fucking enforcer. Yeah. All right. Well, fuck it. Fucking just forget it. Burn the rest of that fucking season down. Nah, it's cool. I think it's nice that we're not gonna have to play the play-in tournament. I think it's gonna be fun to watch the season in the postseason. Whoever we get, I'm excited for a basketball postseason anyway. So yeah, I think overall,
I can't wait to put on those lucky Celtics. I've been holding my Celtic socks in the drawer until the playoffs, just so we can bust them out, and it's gonna be amazing, bro.
Did you bust them out the last few years? Because they're not that lucky. If that's the have you been saving them up?
Saving them for 3 years since we won the shit.
Yeah, unless you've been saving them since 2008. I think maybe some of the luck might have fucking worn off. But yeah, we'll see. Whatever you can do, we'd all really appreciate it as collectively as Celtics Nation. You want to talk about March Madness? Let's talk about March Madness a little bit. I feel like,
bro.
How about fucking Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars? What do you think of that? I feel like everyone on the internet has a take about that. Let's talk about it for a second.
I don't blame him.
Do you not blame him?
I don't. We've all been in this 100% in overreaction, okay? But he got that look from his girl. And I guarantee you, Chris Rock and Will Smith have known each other for a long time, okay? So I feel like it also was like I can't believe you're putting me in this situation right now. Because if you look at Jada, right? That's her name?
Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, okay. Just make sure I wasn't talking out my ass for a second.
Yeah.
If you look at Jada's face, right? That is a face that every husband, every male, everyone on the face of the earth has seen at one point in their life. Where you're either drinking with your buddies and someone says something stupid about your girlfriend, or someone says something stupid about your girl, and she gives you that look of, "Are you gonna let him say that to me?" You don't have a choice, man. Granted,
no, I don't know if I've ever been at
maybe not at the Oscars,
Academy Awards, because I feel like if she gave me that look at the front row of the Academy Awards, I'd be like, "Bitch, what the fuck you want me to do about it right now?" Everyone in the world is looking at me right now. What the fuck do you do? I'm in a tuxedo.
On the night he's gonna win Best Actor too. It's just,
I just don't think it was a smart move.
It wasn't,
to be honest. He obviously was like overcome by emotion, and I get that, but
he saw red.
It was a pretty benign joke if you think about it in retrospect, and also. You also let her just like tell a story on her TV show about how she fucked some other dude, and you had to swallow that. And I think we all realize that's what this is about, to be honest. Like, I think collectively we understand that there's footage of your wife taking you on her TV show, which is on like Facebook Watch, which is like low key embarrassing. And like, I don't have a TV show on Facebook Watch, but like, if you're like Will Smith's wife, like you couldn't get on YouTube, like, come on. So now I get it. They're probably trying to they probably have a partnership. She probably knows Zuckerberg. They probably have dinner together. It's probably really creepy. It's fine. But she takes you on her TV show and in order to basically garner a following, she tells a story or basically has you help her tell a story of how she fucking cheated on you. Right.
With Tupac, right?
No, with this dude that they invited into their house named August. So I gotta send you this clip, dude. I like the pure torture on fucking Will Smith's face when he's he already knew about it, but she just wants to talk about it on her TV show. And I'm like, this is basically where we're at here, Will. I think that you had to kind of swallow your pride and your manhood in front of the world once from your point of view. And then also Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith that I thought was much worse at the 2016 Oscars, because he said something along the lines of Jada Pinkett Smith being mad that she isn't invited to the, or like that she isn't invited to the Oscars is like me being mad that I can't get into Rihanna's pants. Like, yeah, I would love to be here, but the invite's never going to come. You know what I mean? Like something along those lines. Like nobody fucking invited Jada Pinkett Smith to the Oscars was like the joke, basically, the punchline. So I think it's from that. And I think like she was like, I fucking fuck Chris Rock. She's probably said that privately to Will in like 2016, was like, fucking hate that guy. Got all fucking pissy about it. And then that happened. Plus he basically got cuckolded in front of the entire universe. And then finally, pressure-filled night. He's up for Best Actor. He worked really hard on this movie. He's in the front row. He's got smiles. He's always fucking smiling too. And I feel like anyone who smiles that much, it's got to be bullshit. There's got to be some
going on behind that smile. There's a lot of things going on back there.
Yeah, and then he just loses his shit and he slaps Chris Rock. The whole walk up there, is when you should have fucking reconsidered. I think, because just take a fucking breath, dude. Like, just take a fucking breath. And then, the implications it has, unfortunately, and I think it casts an unfortunate pallor over the evening, because I think a lot of people are there to enjoy their evening and fucking win awards. And like, it became the night that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, not the night that the first ever deaf guy won an award, or, it's just like all these other things happened. And I definitely cast like a tough, and I'm already fucking sick of hearing about it, to be quite honest, on the internet. So like our take, I've just decided, if you're listening, is the last one. So we're done doing it after this.
We're wrapping it up after
the memes aren't funny. So, but it's just like, fuck, Chris Rock's up there. He's at work.
A couple of them were funny. There's a few of them where I was like, oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
And on day one.
Right.
But then by now you're like, it's all the best jokes have been done.
And they always rehash them too. That's the thing, is like, there's always like the 7 different posts with the same meme on it.
You're like, bro, you're like, okay. Yeah. I got to curate my shit better. This is getting out of control. But Chris Rock is at work and he got smacked in the fucking face in front of everybody. That's very like emasculating and upsetting. Like that, there's no way he felt good about that happening to him. You know what I mean? He definitely felt like shit on a night where he was just like there to like present one award. He wasn't even like hosting, He
was so surprised too. You saw Will walking up, and Chris at first, I feel like, was almost like pumped. Like he was like,
are you gonna come up and do a bit?
Yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah. And all of a sudden he got smacked, and he had, I don't know if you saw the still of him after he got smacked, but he had the most stereotypical Chris Rock face on of like,
yeah, right.
Like, it was just, he was shocked, man. And,
well, like, you don't fucking smack. He's a goddamn institution. You don't smack
open hand smack. Yeah,
but you know what I mean? He's a fucking American treasure. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's been fucking doing nothing but making us laugh for the last, 30 years. And you're going to slap him?
Slap him with a dick.
Also, like, he looks great, but he's, like, probably in his 50s. You know what I mean? Like, he slapped, like, a 50-something-year-old man, like, in front of people, open hand.
Will Smith is 52, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure, but like that's even worse. That's more embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, you're grown men. Fucking punch each other at least. That's the other thing. They're very lucky that Chris Rock is the model of professionalism that he is, because I was going to jail if you can't get smacked in the face in front of that many people and not be willing to die. Like, you can't just let that go. You know what I mean? Like, we're all getting arrested. If that happens, we're all getting fucking arrested and at the Academy Awards, and it's going to be so embarrassing. But it's like, dude, I can't de-escalate the situation now. I'm sorry. You just open hand smacked a grown man in the face. Like, I have to kill you or die trying. Those are my 2 options. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Will Smith,
his ticket prices went from $42 to $400 in Boston this week.
Dude, but also nobody would have fucking said a word about your wife for the remainder of time. Unless you were like already in the news. You just put her in the fucking news cycle, dude. Everybody's talking about her bald ass head. Everybody's making fucking worse jokes than the G.I. Jane jokes. Also, it's fucking alopecia. It's not like it's, ALS. It's like, you went bald. I'm sorry. That sucks. But it's not like the fucking end of the world.
Yeah, Charlie Villanueva isn't crying.
Yeah, you're fine. You'll be okay. Draw your fucking eyebrows on and like get on with it. We're going to be okay. All right, let's move on to March Madness.
And listen, to anyone out there listening to us with alopecia, sorry.
Yeah, well, they're probably not like anyone with alopecia probably isn't advocating for people to assault other people on their behalf just because they have fucking alopecia. I think they're probably okay. Now the albinos, I don't know about those guys. So like they're a fucking wild card. The alopecias, we might be okay. If we piss off the albinos,
we've lost. Yeah,
well,
we're done.
They're coming. I'm telling you, they can organize quickly, and it's difficult to see them. Or maybe it's really easy to see them. I don't know. I guess it depends what room you're in. If you're in an all-white room, that'd be tough.
Speaking of Charlie Villanueva, he went to UConn, and UConn's not in March Madness, but
that was a decent transition.
The college basketball team.
That was a decent transition. All right, well, we're in the Final Four. I mean, the juice is here. The juice is here, and it's worth the squeeze. So, who you got? Where I haven't even talked to you. Like, how's your bracket's probably trash.
It's not just trash. I am in dead last in my bracket. Like, I was looking at, I am in last place, and like, it's so funny for someone who. I don't want to say I consider myself a college basketball expert, but I think I know college basketball pretty well.
The more I learn about college basketball, the worse I do in my March Madness brackets.
It's unbelievable, man. And like I was doing good with like my DraftKings picks in college basketball and everything like that. As soon as March Madness got here, it just took such a dive bomb. So like for the audience out there, I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win for sure. Please fade this pick as hard as you can. It's not going to happen, but I think it's Duke, man. And, you go through
the context of Coach K and everything.
Yeah, it just seems meant to be at this point. It seems meant to be that we're going to get so first we're going to get the UNC Duke Final-4 game, which is historical. We'll get into that in a second. That's amazing that we're getting this.
Yeah. Especially with Coach K's last Final-4, and they're playing UNC.
It's
I mean, you couldn't have scripted it better.
UNC just beat them too, coming into the tournament.
Yeah, and UNC are good. Like they're playing really well. So,
but Duke Kansas is going to be the championship to me, and it just seems meant to be that it's Duke UNC, blue bloods, rivals. You know what I mean? And then Duke Kansas, also blue bloods. Two of the best teams historically, every year in and year out in March Madness. And it just seems meant to be that Coach K is going to take it, man. And it just, coming into this, I literally said on the March Madness preview show, Duke is the team to me that I think is going to crumble under the pressure. Were words that I said on that show. I was like, yeah, no, first round, second round, Duke is out of here. Yeah, no, it didn't happen. Here we are. They proved me wrong. And I think they just keep it going, man. Ben Charo is awesome. That team is solid. So I think Duke takes it, just historical significance. I think it's going to play a role here, and I think Coach K goes on top. It's what they want. It's what they want.
Yeah, I feel like if that happens, what's his name, Ben Charo, he's going to go number 1 overall next year. I think but I think that it's like you could probably spread the first like 3 or 4 picks out. It's like it's kind of like there's no guarantees. I think if he wins the tournament, I think that makes him the number 1 overall pick, which means he goes to the Magic, so we won't hear from him for a few years, but we'll see what happens. No, I think it's been cool. I think there is a little bit of it's the only time like Duke's ever in the Final-4, but you still sort of feel like that, and you're getting a nice Cinderella vibe from the from the Final-4 matchup because of all this other history. Like usually you just want an underdog making it this far, and UNC's a pretty high seed. I feel like high number wise. I mean, and so it's like, they weren't necessarily pictured to come here, but yeah, I feel like in the narrative perspective, I think seeing Coach K go to the final and seeing him beat Kansas, who I hate, would be awesome. So I think that'd be great. You're not giving Villanova a shot. You're saying there's no chance they can beat Kansas. They just don't have the size. What do you think it is?
Yeah, it's the size, and also them losing. I can't think of his name right now. They just had a huge injury in the last game, and he's such a key piece. And to go, Justin Moore, he tore his ACL in the game against, I don't even remember who they were just playing. Who they just beat?
Last round?
Yeah. St. Peter's, right?
St. Peter's, yeah. No, UNC played St. Peter's.
Oh,
Kansas
right.
beat Miami.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that game against Miami, Justin Moore went out, man. And he's such a big piece of that offense and that team. I don't know if they can overcome that in such a short period of time. If anyone can, it's Nova, because of the style of basketball they play with what's his name? Gillespie. And DiVincenzo isn't that anymore. With Gillespie, I feel like he's been there for 10 years. And in that style of basketball they play where they just don't turn the ball over. They play such a fundamental style of basketball, but without such a big piece against such a talented Kansas team, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for them to get by them. We'll see, though. Like I said, judging by how my March Madness picks have gone, Nova's going to win. So,
yeah, I mean, they have some good players. I just feel like, Kansas, it's tough. It's weird. I feel like anything can happen in the Final-4, though, too. So we could see Villanova and UNC play each other. It wouldn't be as cool of a story, but like, I wouldn't be crazy surprised if that happened. I think UNC have some like decent matchups against Duke, too. I think it's an exciting game. When do they play? Saturday?
Yeah, it's on
Saturday, like afternoon my time, I guess, evening your time. Yeah, I mean, what do you think this means for the draft class in the NBA next year? I feel like Jabari Smith's up there, the kid from Auburn. I think, I know we're obviously not seeing them in the tournament at this phase of proceedings, but I think like he still looks like a blue chip piece. Chet Holmgren, Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray. Anybody jump out of you that like you maybe like a little bit farther down the draft you'd like to see the Celtics pick up? Any crafty guards you've seen play in this tournament this year?
My crafty guards. Listen, I love Jaden Ivey. The Celtics have no chance of getting him. He's going to be a top 5 pick.
I like that kid Johnny Davis from Wisconsin. He's pretty good.
Johnny Davis, yeah.
Yeah, he's right up your alley. He's right up your alley.
He is right up my alley. I love Johnny Davis, bro. I actually have Wisconsin going far specifically because of Johnny Davis.
Yeah. I bet you did.
didn't work out well. What did they shoot? Like 1 of 18 in that game.
It wasn't great.
But yeah, no, I like Johnny Davis. I also like the guard from Murray State. I can't think of his name. This is my problem with college basketball. There's so many goddamn teams I can never think of.
There's too many names. There's too many names.
So, but there's a guard from Murray State I really like, and then for that first pick, bro, it's the dude from Auburn. Yeah. I just think he's such an athletic freak. Yeah. That I love him. Jabari Smith, yeah. But I do love that Nova guard. Not Nova guard. What am I talking about? Who's the guard you just talked about? Who's the guy you just said?
You see this one too many for Johnny Davis, you mean?
No, not Johnny Davis. The guy never mind. Doesn't matter. But yeah. I like Jabari Smith. He's gonna be the number 1 pick. I don't think there's any doubt about that, man. You look at the way he plays. He's the kind of guard, or he's kind of forward that everyone loves, man. He's a stretch forward. He's athletic. If he can develop a solid jump shot, he's going to be something special in the NBA. 100%.
Yeah. All right. We talked about basketball at the professional level. We talked about it at the college level.
Wait, we haven't heard from you since. Let's transition into football for a minute because I just feel like what I want to hear from another struggling football fan, someone who's at another level like I'm at, bro.
I'm not too pissed about the Bears offseason, to be quite honest with you.
What about that? Was that Khalil Mack trade?
Yeah, okay. I think if you look at it, it's tough what we got back, but you're also asking someone to take a pretty hefty contract for a guy who's, let's be honest, like in the next 2 years, he could fall off pretty hard. And I just think they're kind of just accepting that they're not trying to make a run in the next 2 to 3 years. They're just going to build. And a lot of the offseason pickups, we got a lot of people on the cheap, we got a lot of like cheap contracts. We got a lot of 1 years. And I think to me, it's like, well, it's a new regime. Yeah. Have I been languishing and watching this team suck for like a long time? Yes. But a lot of the guys they're bringing in, like I like the profile of player. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of athleticism. There's a lot of like smart money in key positions. We've like shortened up the defensive line. Like outside of Khalil Mack going away, I think we've like added some presence there and some speed. And we used like some of the money we freed up from that trade to do it. I think we're starting to shift our receiving core around a little bit to like fit what I think is going to be, which seemed like a fucking no-brainer to me last year, but like a sort of a run pass offense built around Justin Fields with, you want to front load the season on option plays, kind of like scrambly plays, keep them safe and protected, which we've also made some really good moves in that area to get to shore up, or which, I mean, we couldn't have really gotten much worse, honestly, at the offensive line position, but we've shorn up with some key guys there. We got a dude I forget his name from Green Bay, which I'm like thrilled about. He was like one of their best blockers. And and also he had a big responsibility protecting like the money he was protecting. So I think like he'll know what he's doing. And I think that their priorities are in the right place. And I think that they realized when they traded Khalil Mack, I think they realized it was like, well, we're not going to win with him because like by the time we're ready to win, based on what we have here, he's going to be fucking done. He's going to be shot, and we're still going to have to pay him the fucking Khalil Mack as a beast money that we have him on. So basically, take on this contract for us, Chargers. You now have like a great two-piece with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Looks great for you on paper, and you're in a better position to sort of try to make a run. We're building. So we need to get into a position where we actually have fucking draft picks because we pissed those away to get Khalil Mack in the first place, which, it was fun to watch him. Don't get me wrong. And he's a beast, but you got to put a guy like that in as a piece that when there's already, he's an edge rusher. It's great to have an awesome fucking edge rusher. It really is. But that's not how you build a winning team.
Not a defensive cornerstone money.
Yeah, exactly. And he was getting fucking cornerstone money, and you need to build from your secondary in today's NFL. I think everybody seems to know that now, except for the Jets. But you build from your secondary, and you get speed and athleticism in the secondary because there's fucking speed and athleticism everywhere on wide receiver and running back across the entire NFL now. So yeah, we gotta build from there, and I think we needed that money to do it. And I think they're like, well, we drafted a really good quarterback in Justin Fields, and we need to get him good at football. Give him take the pressure off him a little bit and put him in winning situations. Like the fucking way that Nagy used him at the end of the last season, it's like, dude, have you really been the guy this whole time? Has this really been your job the entire fucking time to be the head coach? You don't know what you're doing. Like, oh my God. And it's that thing. It's that head coach. Like, I'm a fucking guru. I'm now overthinking everything. I'm overthinking everything to the point where I'm making the wrong decision about everything. And I don't think it makes him necessarily a terrible coach, but you are a terrible coach if you're making the fucking decisions that you're making. But it does happen. I've seen it happen because it's like you're just trying to, you're just trying to move the bricks around and just hope the water doesn't come in. But the more you do it, the more you're just getting quicksanded, and it was just time for him to go. And I think it seems like we have a decent front office now, and I like the moves they've been making. How are the Cowboys? What's going on with them? Are they fucking Amari Cooper's gone?
Randy Gregory's gone, bro.
I thought Amari Cooper was the linchpin of your whole plan to win the Super Bowl because Dak's sick when Amari's healthy. What happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't know. All this time. So wait, before I get into my dismal Cowboys, okay. What the new head coach? How do you pronounce the last name? Everflew,
yeah,
Everflew
along those lines. I haven't heard it a lot. I've read it a lot, but once we get into the season, I'll hear people pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. Fair enough. First of all, I didn't know he was a Dallas Cowboys linebackers coach for 9 years.
He was for a long time. Yeah,
that's kind of cool. You got a connection there. With
Cowboys. I mean, I didn't love the pick, to be honest with you, because I was pretty dead set on the idea that if we were going to get a guy to build back our defensive identity, but maybe he's hit or miss on the quarterback positions, I really would have thought we would have gotten what's his name from the Dolphins, and he wouldn't be a fucking cornerbacks coach in Pittsburgh Flores. Right now. Yeah, Brian Flores. That was weird. I thought if his profile of coach and the kind of coach he is the exact same as the guy we got, except I think he's had a more proven pedigree. So I don't know. Maybe we didn't want the hassle. I guess I get that on some level. But
I do think him trading Mac though was kind of a reset where he's you know what?
I think it signals that we're starting over.
Yeah, 100%. Where he's you know what? We need picks. We have this guy that this past regime got. We're going to trade him away for what? What do they get? A 3rd round pick?
2nd round and a 6th round.
Right.
Which is a 3rd round pick. That if you combine those two, it's 1 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
You're when you're in Madden and you're doing the trades, you're all right, a 7th round. And they're no. And you're
no.
All right, a 6th round.
6th round. And you're
no.
Let's do it.
All right, a 5th round. Shit, I gave away the phone.
The NBA 2K trade finder is the best thing in the world. By the way.
Because if you turn on all the rules, all the basketball rules, you realize that these fucking GMs are
it's impossible, bro. It's impossible.
You're Jesus Christ. You're there's a 2% luxury tax if you do that. And it's dude, how does anyone make trades in the fucking, this is the guys who put this fucking league together were all chemists or something. It's bananas.
But yeah. So Cowboys, bro, with Amari, I don't know what happened.
Were you going to have to buy him out or something?
The Cowboys PR is so talented at turning a player from such a cornerstone and someone that we need to have our offense move and go to a cap casualty that we can give away for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
In a matter of 4 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Amari caught a game-winning touchdown for the Cowboys against the Vikings.
It's not like he doesn't still have it, right? Like,
Amari's got it.
I was pretty shocked. I was surprised just based on the fact that I think he's still got the goods.
It's the cap hit. $20 million a year is why they got rid of him, because $20 million a year is at
who'd you trade him to? New Orleans.
The
Browns.
Browns. Yeah.
What's going on over there?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But this is what what's odd. So I talked about this last week with Mike. Is like the NFL is so good at being in the off season, but somehow still being the top goddamn news.
It's become a 12-month sport. It really has become a 12-month sport. It's unbelievable. It's really a great product. Apart from all the
awful shit. Yeah, the awful shit. It's become.
I'm so addicted to it. I can't stop. Yo, can I ask you though? Before you do the Cowboys, I was trying to convince Leah that Mitch to the Steelers is a great move, because I think that Matt Nagy was such a bad coach that I really genuinely believe there's an outside shot that Mitch Trubisky is actually good. And I think, what do you think of that move? Especially, I think he's a great fit over there. I think Tomlin, and he's better than fucking Ben Roethlisberger was in his last season, right? He was terrible. He had a wet noodle for a fucking arm.
I said on the show 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that I thought Trubisky would be a sneaky signing for the Seahawks. And Mike and Ray were both like, "What, are you crazy,
dude?" I think he's not that bad. Honestly.
I don't think he's that bad either. Listen, he brought a Bears team to 13-3.
Yeah.
In the next year.
Well, he was there. I don't know if he brought us, but he was there. He participated.
Fair. That's
I know he's the quarterback. I get it. He's the quarterback, so it's like he brought that team. I understand what you're saying.
I think it could be good. Listen, you're right. Listen, Roethlisberger was not even a quarterback last year, okay? And they went 9-7. So you get someone back there who can actually just manage a game.
It was like, fucking Mitch Trubisky's a joke. He's a fucking joke. I'm like, dude, I think Matt Nagy was the true joke of that situation.
But how many times, D'Elia, when you used to say that, right? When you used to be sitting there in your dismal Bears, Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy days, where they'd lose 17-3 against the fucking Bengals. Well,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's a bad example right now, but you know what I mean.
I saw him play really well a few times. I'll just say that. I know it's not a popular opinion. I understand he was the butt of a lot of jokes, and he became sort of the poster boy for this failed Ryan Pace GM era in Chicago. And I also understand that, but what I think other people need to understand is that, Chicago, I think, has this weird place in the NFL where everybody still kind of is teasing out their respect for them as a franchise, even though it's been a long time since they've been good. Nobody really wants to turn, unless you're a Packers fan or something. The neutral in the NFL doesn't want to turn the Bears into a Jets. You know what I mean? They're not ready to make fun of them to that degree. But Mitch became sort of the poster boy for this. They traded up, and then these comparisons started leaking in. They could have had Deshaun, which could have had Pat Mahomes. It's if you look at that quarterback draft class, obviously it was a stupid fucking thing to do, and it put a lot of pressure on him. And he had only played one season in college, and it was all a little strange. But he's not. I saw him play well. I saw him play very, very well a couple of times. More than a handful of times. 10, I would say I could go and find 10 Mitch Trubisky games where he played really well, above average to great. Not great as in great in the hall of NFL quarterbacks. Just he had a great game. I'd say at least 10 times. I could probably go find him. But that's probably out of I don't know how many games he played for us, probably 46. I don't know. I have no fucking clue.
Right.
That sounds pretty correct. It could be 72. I don't fucking know. But I don't think he's a bad QB. And I think the Mitch Renaissance, I think I could see it happening. I would love to get this recorded, say the Mitch Renaissance is possible, and then watch it happen in Pittsburgh, who you guys have been shitting on for 3 years, and I'm forced to defend. I think that would be great.
I think that's a great way to end the show, bro. The Mitch Renaissance. I think that's such a good way to wrap everything up. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, that works. Well, thanks, Bob. That was fun. We chatted Celtics. We chatted Will Smith smacking fucking Chris Rock. We chatted March Madness and Old Faithful. We chatted NFL football. For myself, DK Sizzle, and the real BK Bob Kelly. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.
Are you passionate about saving the planet for future generations? Do you want to learn how to do it? If yes, then you need to tune in to the Nature Backed podcast. It's a talk show covering the changing world around us, from renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, circular economy, to ESG and social innovation. Don't miss this opportunity to discover how you can join the movement and make a difference. Subscribe to the Nature Backed podcast today on your favorite platform and get ready to be amazed.
Hey, what's happening out there, everybody? This is Lawrence Ross, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my podcast, The Lawrence Ross Show.
Egomaniac.
It's a 2-hour weekly exploration into my mind. I also do sketches, celebrity impersonations.
You're out of order!
And I also do song parodies. Not too shabby for a blind guy.
Not only are you visually impaired, but you are geographically impaired.
New episodes are released every Friday. Check it out on your favorite podcasting platform or listen to it here on Society 13 on Electrocast.